Welcome back to the channel. And I think this is the video that I've been promising you guys for the past couple of weeks. And I think it's taken a lot to get everybody in here, so I'm going to introduce you quickly. Vic, don't laugh at me, you're a pro at this yet.
I'm watching the experts on the seat here. I'm like, you're damn right, it's taking some people to get some experts here. Not me, I'm talking about them.
So, yeah, but don't laugh at me, right?
No, I'm not laughing.
You're the expert in
I'm smiling.
videography, but
I'm
I'm
not an
trying.
expert, I just love what I do. I'm
So,
quite
You're somewhat of
honored
an
to be here,
expert.
bro.
so anyway, if you guys don't know him by now, he's known as the loudest white boy
On
on
African
African
soil.
soil. So, Vic Paral over there, and we've got Peter Cavalas over here. I always chat about Peter when I do videos, and I'm gonna call him a mentor because I've got the utmost respect for this man, yeah, for his knowledge, for Peter being himself. So if you don't know him, he's a grumpy old man.
Thank you, Sanjay.
Right? It's as simple as that. But knowledge-wise, he's an encyclopedia. He's my encyclopedia. So if I get stuck, I always go back to Peter. I'll always, and our phone calls will. You can stand by this, Peter. Our phone calls are always on a technical point, and
Absolutely.
it gets dragged out very fast. And then over there we got Jermaine Williams, always known as Mano,
Yeah.
and he's your events slut, if I can call it that.
But I'm an avid E30 enthusiast, I think.
And you've got your knowledge as well. So you've built your own knowledge up. I think you've also built a good few cars up, and you bring your expertise to the game.
Oh, thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So, Vic, part of this video today is basically under one roof, having not all the cars, not all the E30s, right? But we've got a good lineup of cars under one roof. And Peter, I think stand corrected, or I stand corrected. This year should be the first under one roof,
In one space, yeah?
in one space.
Sure.
Yeah. So let's just go through the lineup that we got quickly. So we've got the 320 i Sport, which is a UK vehicle. I've done a video on this car a while back. We've got the 325 IS, the Evo 1, we've got the Evo 2, we've got the 320 IS behind us, the E30 M3, we've got the 333, the South African heritage car, we've got an Alpina B3, as well as the Alpina C1. So there is a couple of more Alpina cars running around in South Africa. We have made a couple of calls, but we weren't able to get the cars out here into this video, right? But I think this lineup alone,
It's a pretty good big deal.
Yeah. And it cumulatively shows the passion and what BMW was at the time, which is a really, really good picture.
and I think that we can actually, a lot of the times we have conversations, right? General conversations about this car, about that car.
Yeah.
Today we can actually go in physically, we can actually check the differences between cars.
Yeah.
And do a physical comparison. So Peter, you've got your knowledge with them, and we can actually, I think we just want to educate the viewers on what people always hear
Yeah.
as to fact. So Peter, do you want to just give a quick rundown on your history, if I can call it that, on the BMW side for the guys that don't know you?
My history can best be summarized as a BMW enthusiast, predominantly old school and normally aspirated. I much prefer that era of BMW, and I think my age has a lot to do with it. I grew up in the era of the E30, the E12s, the E28s. They were aspirational cars for me. And I've always have owned and worked on normally aspirated cars and continue to do so, half as a business and half as a hobby. So I would say that I acquired my first E12 528, fully automatic, with central locking, aircon, and electric windows, as well as a Piranha rear louver.
Sure.
Okay.
It shows you how far back it
And
is.
when was this now?
That must have been let's see, 1979,
Wow.
1980.
Wow.
There. Registration number TJ2448. I'll never
Transvaal.
forget it. Yeah.
Sure.
So ever since those days, I have worked in my spare time on cars. My cars predominantly. And when I stopped work, official work, I got dragged by mistake into restorations.
A mistake.
Yes. It started off as a can you do this for me, and it landed up with doing this for many other people. So I don't know, I've got about 45 years of history with BMWs, roughly 40,
Wow.
and
So that's
predominantly
amazing.
old school.
So I was just gonna say that me telling the viewers that I use you as my encyclopedia. I was just gonna ask you, where did that start? So you've answered that now.
Hold on, you gotta educate the viewers. Most people don't know what an encyclopedia is.
Oh yeah.
In other words, Google.
I imagine
Now
that most of
ChatGPT.
the viewers would know. So yeah, in a nutshell.
Okay, so just a quick, you also restore, right? Now, how many cars have you restored? Basically, how many? If you can, you don't have to give us the
Ballpark
exact figure,
figure.
but just I know you to have worked, and you've got vast knowledge on the E30 M3s, on the triple threes, on the E28 M5s, obviously the 325 ISs.
Look, in terms, I think engine builds stand out more than restorations. Of the M88 engine, which was installed in the 745, the local 745, and the E28 M5, we got about 130, 135 copies of the M5 and about 200 of the 745s. So that would make it about 350 engines. I think I've done 40 of them,
Wow.
as in rebuild them.
So sterling
And I
testimony.
own 5 of them.
Okay. So
Complete engine.
sterling testament to Peter's balls, right? And I gave him credit in one of the other videos when I done the E28 M5, and I've seen the differences. And I'm not knocking anybody else on. There's so many other people out there that's got a lot of knowledge on these, and they've got the expertise, right? And names can be mentioned, and I think I've done that before in the videos. But I've seen physically the differences of why you are pedantic in what you do. So
Well, try and do it as best you possibly can. Predominantly for the for the heritage, treat the machine with respect. It is the M88 specifically is really BMW's first racing engine, if you will. And you know it's valuable to this day, because right up until the E46 M3s, it is a similar, not the same, but certainly a similar architecture on the engine.
Yeah.
So it shows you that it has stayed for a very long period of
it was
time.
very advanced for its time.
Yeah.
For its time, yeah. What that engine could produce in the Pro car, where it was first fitted, that thing could do as much as 500 brake horsepower.
That's
Sure.
correct.
Yeah.
Sure.
So it shows you that it was a well thought out foundation, you know, for development. The S14s that did the German touring car championship, those engines were practically unchanged from road going versions for their whole career in racing.
Wow.
So they could take, in other words, the stresses of racing could be done on standard cranks and standard conrods that had been lightened so that they could rev higher. But the architecture was the same.
Wow.
It's amazing.
So maybe what we can do is, Vic, maybe what we can do is, I think, having done this video now, right? I just had an idea with Nishad and Alpha of doing another, call it a follow-up video to the E30s, where we bring more shadow lines in from the globe bumper shadow lines, so the plastic bumper cars. We can bring in the colorlesses and basically try and complete the 3 series change or the E30 change. Right? So we can call that.
You see, the experts are phoning the experts for advice.
Can you cut that?
No, we're not cutting it. This is how we throw it down.
Hello, Nicholas.
You don't mind sharing that?
No,
So, Peter, I've got to ask you, how many children do you have?
I've got 4. The oldest one being some 48 years old. A woman now, not a girl. My youngest one being 27. All of them in diverse fields.
Okay.
Not in mechanical things. But they all have the ability to work on cars
Oh, that's amazing.
because they have worked with me from a very young age whilst they were growing up.
So,
That was my follow-up question. Have you created a lot of memories in your garage around various BMWs?
I think so. And if you speak to my youngest one, he is an old school, normally aspirated snob.
in simple terms.
Yeah. My older boy enjoys everything, but he's also into normally aspirated ends.
Nice.
You know, the V8s and the 6s. And the good thing about it is that he can fix them himself.
That's
He
right.
recently bought an E30 M3,
Yeah.
Nice car.
which he restored completely
Oh, wow.
from front to back.
Such a great car. Such a great car.
Stunning car.
I want to see that car. You know, I've got a soft spot for 39.
Yes, and it really is. You know what is interesting about those E39s? It is a reserved gentleman until it is not.
Yeah.
But the same thing with this E60 M5.
No, I think the E60 has the E60 actually tells you that it's going to be. As you approach it, the E39 is understated.
No, that I can say.
You know, whether you walk into a normal 540 or a lesser powered car, there isn't too much distinctly different between
The 540.
whereas to the E60, I think the wheels and the vents on the fenders announce the intention.
But I still maintain, right, that the E39 and the E60 M5 is a car that if it's parked in the parking lot, you'll actually walk past them first before you realize what you're looking at. If you're pure,
As long as it's not idling, because if it's idling,
Yes.
you'll know
No.
exactly what car it
no,
is.
but that's how I would explain the car.
Yeah.
Do you understand? And that's what I love about them. It doesn't stand in your face. So I always compare them to even like the C55. Okay, we're gonna deviate a little bit here. The C55 was also a very subtle car.
Yeah.
Then you got the C63 that was in your face.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Now, if you compare the cars in that era, it's not so much in that era, but if you compare those cars, right, they're not in. It's the 39 and the E60s are not in your face. My E60, my wife drives it, so it's got the car seat at the back.
No, I didn't. You didn't just be so unprofessional and left the phone on during a live shooting.
No, but this is
So while these gentlemen tell you all the right things, let me do the right things.
no, but again, guys, in this video, here, right, it's not scripted. There's no fancy lighting here.
Yeah.
If you guys know how I am, this is as
Authentically yourself.
real as it gets.
Yeah.
Right. So anyway, Peter, I know you also not pressed for time, but I know you're on a schedule. So why don't we start with the cars? I'm actually eager to get to the cars.
Yeah, that's a good idea. We're gonna walk to the cars
Yeah, let's
as
do
a
it.
troop,
Yeah, we can do
or
that.
we're gonna point to them.
Now let's walk to
I know we gotta get together because what Joel don't know is before this actually happened, I've already been schooled for about 2 hours just listening and watching Peter point things out to Sanjay.
And I'm looking at the back here because Uncle Faisal is hiding somewhere here at the back and he doesn't want to be on video.
Yeah, they were having a little good banter there. I was just
So Uncle Faisal and Ishara both here, and we'll watch the video and laugh.
So which one are we going to start on?
Do you want to start from the simple ones? And well, there is no simple car.
So Peter, which is the rarest
You
in your
choose.
opinion?
You choose.
The rarest in South Africa is if you live here in South Africa.
Funnily enough, that Alpina, the 2.7, and that 320 IS, there must be a handful, and I really mean a handful.
Yeah.
So
Of that IS and that 2.7 Alpina.
But which one is your favorite of them all?
I think my favorite has to be the E30 M3. And I'll explain to you why. It is the closest thing that you get to a 50-50 weight split.
Oh yeah.
The car is light. The steering on it is extremely sharp. And it communicates with you very well.
It's the quintessential BMW driving experience.
I think it goes beyond that. I think it goes to the stage where BMW put it's a gentleman's racer, straight out the factory.
Yeah.
That's the closest, and for that period, especially, when they were first introduced, you really couldn't buy a gentleman's racer off the floor for decent money, for affordable money. You could get specialist models from Lambo and Ferrari and Aston, but those were in a different league altogether. Those were supercars. So it has to be the E30 M3 for primarily for making performance available to the man in the street at a reasonable cost. Not cost of purchase alone, but also of maintenance, because the cars were not really that much more expensive to maintain than a 320 or a 325. So yes, that would be my favorite. And then, of course, if I go to the normal BMW cars, there are performance cars. The 333 and the 325 IS are not cars that I would consider BMW cars. I don't think they ever were BMW cars. I think they were Alpina cars that BMW, with its muscle and association,
basically.
could pull into the factory and say, yeah, this is our model now. But between that B3 and that IS, mechanically, there's little to no difference. Cosmetically, there's a lot.
Yeah.
So, in terms of BMW, the E30 M3, in terms of BMW's tuning company, Alpina, which they recently bought out completely.
While you're on that subject, it's important to mention at this juncture the reason why we've got these particular special models. And one of the reasons is because outside of Germany, Roslyn was the only, or South Africa was the only country
At that time,
outside of Germany actually producing vehicles for the world. So we had the muscle to be able to create these special vehicles or these special variations that are nowhere known throughout the world.
Packages.
No, so topping on that, you mentioned something now. You said the E30 M3, that's so well balanced. And basically, nose light, meaning that's how I would describe the car. So we've got one of the most balanced cars out here to one of the most unbalanced cars.
The 333, yes.
333.
And the joke of it, I think, is BMW's chutzpah, I think is the best word to describe it, to bring the 333 in as a replacement to the M3. I mean, the car understeers itself
Crazy.
to destruction. You can get the back swung out
Fairly decently.
no, beyond fairly decently. Because, it doesn't communicate very well with you, but it is a very special car.
Yeah.
So
The torque on that car, I mean, you can pull off in third gear for goodness sake,
Sure.
and it just goes.
Talk is
So
insane.
is that the torque band on these guys are available basically your torque band is available from 1,800 depending on cam.
Jeez.
But from 1,800 most cars are from 2.2, but from as low as 1,800 RPM. So
Sure.
triple threes, and I like driving that. Anyway guys, I think let's get cracking.
I wanna start on the 320 if that's cool with you.
Yeah,
Since it's
go for it.
one of the rarest.
Funnily enough, 320, Portugal, and Italy.
Portugal, Italia.
That's why you want to start
Only
with it.
countries to get.
No, I just think, out of all the cars, and they're all special in their own way, for me, the 320, to be honest, is the most rarest I've ever seen. I've never seen one like that before.
So some history on this guy here quickly, right? Is that okay? I think let's start working to the cars.
Yeah, let's go.
Ready? Okay, so quickly some history on this specific vehicle, right? This vehicle, and I think I've done a short video of it before, but this vehicle started off as a left-hand drive. They were built as left-hand drives for Italy and for Portugal. This specific vehicle had the conversion done over by Birds in the UK, right? And they were authorized the repairs, and they were authorized to do the conversion for BMW UK, if I'm not mistaken. There is paperwork to back that up.
Can I pause you on that? So, Peter, out of your experience and many years of being an expert, how many authorized tuning houses were used by BMW over the years?
There's three basically that had very close relationships with BMW. The first one is Alpina on road cars. The second one was AC Snitcher on the racing programs. And then Hotka, the Hotka brothers, came in right at the end
Okay.
where they could, because BMW didn't release the motor plants, the engines, other than to Alpina, AC Snitcher, and then the last one was Hotka. Okay. And then, of course, there are many others that were on the periphery, but the three official ones, Alpina predominantly on the road, AC Snitcher on the performance side, on the racing side, and Hotka for the road as well.
Okay. Thank
But
you.
more an appearance. Hotka was more an appearance. Am I right?
Actually, Hotka were the first ones, just as a matter of interest, to fit an M88, which is the six-cylinder of this one, into an E30.
Oh.
Sure.
Okay,
And they had it on the road.
so that's nice to know.
And Car did a feature on it back in the 80s.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Okay, so here we've got the 320 IS here, right? And we know that the 320 IS was produced for Italy and for Portugal, and they were called the 320 IS because they were D-tune motors, they were D-stroke motors.
yes,
So from 2.3 liter down to 2 liters. Right?
just under 2.
But besides for that, any other comparison from this guy standing next to an M3 now? What are the two differences?
Well, other than the body, this is a normal heavy body. It's a normal 3 Series.
Yeah.
It's a normal E30 with the
M2.
what we would call the IS kit on it. It's got double glazing, whereas to the M3 it's got single windows, single pane windows, and it's not double glazed. The M3 has got a lot of plastic on it
Interesting.
to make it lighter. Other than that, it was basically an E30 body, a normal road grade body.
So this is still a 192 brake horsepower motor, right?
Yeah, call it in round numbers 200. It's
Round
neither
numbers.
here nor there.
And perhaps maybe we can talk about the difference in capacity. It was 300 cc's or so difference between the two.
Right, it was 300 cc's difference.
Yeah.
So from 2.3 down to 2 liter.
And that had to
Actually,
do, so Europe's always been really strict with,
Taxes.
you get taxed per how many.
Capacity, basically,
Yeah.
engine size, basically.
Yeah, they've got different levels, 1,000 cc's, 2,000 cc's, and over
Yeah.
2,000 cc.
So is the crankshaft and rods the same, essentially?
Rods, pistons, are the same. Crank is different.
And just as we've discovered, the injectors are also the same as well.
The injectors are the same. The only difference is basically
The crank.
just a crank.
Just the crank.
Can I ask you a question? So I haven't had the pleasure of driving an E30 M3 hard. You know, we've been spoiled here in South Africa by the big 6 cylinders like the 333 and obviously the 2.7 3 to 5. How is it to drive an M3 4-cylinder E30 aggressively?
It's like driving an Evo 1, an IS Evo 1, except that it handles impeccably.
Because of the balance.
It doesn't understeer. It's pretty neutral in its steering, and you can induce oversteer on it quite easily.
Of course we can.
Yeah, that's big specialty.
But it's very, very well balanced.
My second question, do you have to rev it hard? Does it come to life at the end of the rev range, or is it quite
Where's the
comfortable
power
in
band?
between?
It's typical of BMW's philosophy of torque availability right down at the bottom.
Yes.
So it gains momentum very, very, very
Easily.
quickly. Obviously, up at the top, it becomes a lot more meaningful to the driver,
Sure.
in terms of the power.
Yeah.
But you can get up to mischief quite easily with this.
And if there's anybody who's going to get up to mischief, it's a South African dude in
Yeah.
E30. So my last question, compression ratio on the 4 cylinders as opposed to the 6 cylinders?
You know,
Specifically the E30 M3?
that is something that BMW has not been entirely honest about. It varies between 10.3 and 10.5 to 1.
It's
Sure.
quite high for a
Well,
stock car.
Yeah, for those days,
For a stock car.
So just talking about compression quickly, right? You're talking about this 10.3 to 10.5 on these motors, yeah.
Yeah.
A stock standard 333 motor is at 8.8 to 1.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Anything near 10
Yeah.
for that era is...
But that's how low the compression is on that motor there.
Yes, but that's why those motors can do 1 million kilometers.
Slowly.
Which they do.
Bulletproof.
Bulletproof. I recently stripped an N88 engine out of the 7 Series with well over 400,000 k's, and the bearings were virgin.
Wow.
Sure.
Auto car.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because it shifts where you're
Yeah.
supposed to shift it.
No, but it's also the
These
same.
guys ever want to buy a clean E30, go buy some Granny's Auto. That's
Yeah.
my advice.
So, I don't know, BMW publish figures that sometimes don't make sense. For example, the E46 M3, when it first came out, they published the power rating. By the time the car went out of production, the power had increased by 15 kilowatts, and BMW had never made mention of it.
Sure.
So they don't seem to be focused on numbers. Maybe now they are,
Yeah.
because they're in an arms race with Mercedes-Benz and Lamborghini and everybody
Yeah.
else. But those days, I think it was more engineering and what works, and rather than publishing figures.
Sure.
Okay, so, and then this specific car, this car, the 320i, also has the dogleg gearbox in it.
Yes.
The one question that I wanted to know is, do you know what the DAF ratio is on?
No. I have no idea what the diff ratio is on this.
It'll actually be nice to actually
Suspension.
do a check.
Can I share the most embarrassing story with everyone now that I'm here? So, I was the owner of a 333, but before I owned the 333, it belonged to my brother-in-law. So Sundays, we used to have this little drag strip called Rainbow Drags. So I must have been a cool 17, trying to be as cool as I could.
Yeah.
Borrowed the car. My brother-in-law was watching quite nervously, as he should have. Got to the start line. Obviously now you're 17. Knees are shaking. Adrenaline's pumping. Christmas lights. Put it into first gear, because first gear is supposed to be there.
Put it in the first gear.
My man launched it with all the young confidence of a, 17, I'm going to win this, just like a Golf GTI, whatever.
And bogged it.
My man, yes, I can officially say I put it in first, which is reverse because it's a dogleg box. My man, with all confidence, I was expecting to go this way. I went this way, and everybody just jumped out of the way, bro.
Was that the case, or did you think R was for race?
No. I thought, because it's just like instinct. I was like, and when you put it with confidence,
Yes.
like, I got this, man.
I-
Yeah, anyway, so I was 17. I made about, I don't know, at least 5 marshals jump for life. My brother-in-law thought I was going to smack into the Hilux behind me, and yeah, I paid attention ever since then. Eventually, when the car did become mine, it was quite like a thing to put it in first.
Yeah.
But now going back to that first story, right? Peter, I don't know. I have a problem, and I mentioned this in one of my other videos. In the E30s, or any like the triple threes, these guys I see that I didn't have a problem with. But knowing first gear is down here, it comes as second nature, right? The car that I battled on was a 6 Series. For some reason, I don't know. I don't know what it was, and I battled with a dog leg on there. But if I jump into a triple three, it's like
Normal.
Normal.
It's normal.
Maybe seating position or
I don't know what it is.
I think it's the seats on the sixes that are angled towards the middle of the road.
Mm.
So it sort of puts your left hand at a slightly different angle to what.
Yeah, that makes sense.
I promise you, I battled, and no matter how much I drove that car, I battled with it. But if I can jump into a normal E30 one up now, and I'll go back into the triple three, and I can adjust immediately. I want to ask you if you ever had that issue.
No,
So, okay, so I'm special.
no, but I think it's due to the fact that I am a superb driver.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, just brush your shoulders
Makes
off
sense.
right there.
Thanks for that.
Just one other question. Suspension 4 or 5120?
So this year has actually got 4. As for the M3, the M3 comes with a normal 5-hole, which is the sport package that the IS had, but this car came with the 4-hole package.
Yeah, fundamentally, it's an E30 off the production line.
Okay.
You know, it didn't have the 5-hole suspension, which was an M3
Performance upgrade.
dedicated
Yes.
suspension.
Obviously, because the bigger brake discs, etc.
Yeah, the bigger brake discs, the bigger shock absorbers,
Yeah.
all of that stuff stayed on the M3s.
Okay, guys, next car.
I just got to, before we jump, I'm really surprised that this car still came with manual windows. I'm just saying.
Not really.
Remember the market that it was meant for.
Yeah.
Yeah, porous.
No,
And
it's
Italianos.
No.
It's just that,
It was a tax issue.
remember, they
was
tried
it?
to make it as affordable
Seriously?
as they possibly could. So, electric windows and central locking and things like that. For example, in 1982, when we got the first 323, that car came with central locking, air conditioning, and radio preparation, but no electric windows.
Were these not all optional extras? Even
Yes.
with the Evo 1s as well.
Yes.
There's some Evo 1s without sunroof.
Okay, yeah, that.
Because it was an optional extra that you could literally tick.
But in Europe, basically, everything was an optional extra.
Yeah.
And a weight issue.
The electric.
To compensate now, like for example, the same story with Evo 1's aluminium panels as to Evo 2's non-aluminium. So cheaper to
Produce.
pull weight out. Is that not part of it?
Okay, we're sitting in 2025, but electric windows were seen as maybe a luxury back in 1980.
Yeah.
No, it
was a
was.
luxury upgrade.
Yeah.
It was central locking and electric windows. That's why I made mention of the 528. It
Came as a full package.
came with a full package. I mean,
Yeah.
you were right. And it was a 528 executive.
Yes, that's right.
Oh, you wasn't because
Yeah.
of the electric windows, the aircon, and the central locking.
But it's the
Now
same thing if
it's
Common, not
I mean,
standard.
if you're talking about just on the 5 Series quickly, you know when there was the 530 MLE, and then there was another. No, I'm gonna leave this for another topic. Right? I'm getting.
there's the 530
It's actually the.
and
It's
then
actually
there's
the.
the 530.
So
Was
the
that
MLE was
255?
the lightweight, basically, right?
Correct.
So it's the same story. That's what I'm trying to get to. Is that the MLE, being an MLE, had cutouts on the body in certain parts of the body
Strip weight.
to strip weight out of it.
Okay.
You understand? So there is a possibility, and I think maybe we can dig into it and see.
Yeah. But I don't-
This is a very cool car for me, just
Yeah.
because I haven't seen any.
I think just as a last comment,
Italy, that's right.
this was a normal E30, but this was a homologation vehicle. a racing vehicle, if you want to call it that. Hence the Evo 1 having the fenders, which they then upgraded to the steel fenders, but upgraded the power settings on the Evo 2.
Yes, but this was a South African issue,
Yes.
if you will. It was developed over here with a factory. I'm talking about Germany, South Africa, as well as Alpina.
So that they could go race on Saturday and sell on Monday.
Yes.
So-
which they did
Yeah, absolutely.
very productively.
You should know because you're Greek. Every Italian put a Greek one. You were either rocking an Alpha GTV back in the day. This is way before my time, or BMW.
Yep.
Yep.
That's it.
See, that's how the Greeks stayed together because they had share parts in the weekends. Especially if you drove an Alpha. I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, big. Okay, so guys, let's move over to the M3, right? Because we're in close comparison to
Yeah.
the 320is, and I
That's
think
right.
so. Yeah, Vic, the steering is on the other side of this one.
I didn't open the door to see me open the door.
So this is still a left here. It is South African data set. Peter, I think this was one of the first E30 M3s brought into the country. I think, but
Vic would still be on the same side.
There's,
Yeah.
there are quite a number of M3s that were brought in back in the years of manufacture by South Africans.
yeah,
This one is a recent Japan import, just by this specific car. But they are rare, definitely. In the country, they are very, very rare. Maybe there's 40 cars.
40?
Yeah.
it's a lot though.
That's a lot of cars.
Yeah.
40 M3s.
Yeah.
Wow.
See how many oaks are keeping gems like this
they-
in the
And
garages.
they keep quiet.
Yeah, nobody tells anyone.
Wow.
Jack Kaplan had
The grey one.
convertible.
The red one.
He had a convertible as well.
There's a red one sitting in.
I know where.
That
this
one's
is
in
Cabriolet.
in Northern Cape. The one in Northern Cape.
So there's a
One there
E30 M3 Cabriolet.
There's a guy who's got 3 of them.
On the east end.
Was it an Indian gentleman?
He's a gentleman.
A gentleman.
Yeah.
So it's
I love that you put it like that,
I
yeah.
know that guy.
So yes,
And that same gentleman has got a good couple of motors laying now.
yes, yes.
So-
This engine is very much the same as that, except this is a 2.3 as opposed to a 2 liter on that one.
And you said the crankshaft remains exactly the same, or is it a more lightened crankshaft?
the
or-
crank is a different.
It's a different crank.
The stroke on these and the 2.3s is different to the 2
Good.
liters.
Okay.
So crank is now back to 2.3 to give you the displacement.
Okay.
The 2.3s, just as a matter of interest, rev if you take out the the spring for the cutout on, they'll see 7.5
Quite
Sure.
easily.
easily.
What did the DTM guys rev to?
Oh shucks, those were doing around 9.
9,000.
Oh.
Yeah, but remember something, Sanjay, they were running a double set of injectors.
Yeah.
You know, one on the entry to
Yeah,
the trumpet,
yeah,
the other almost like a port distribution. They had very, very long tips, so it could go right into the head.
And the valve springs on that to get to 9K?
They're all specialist parts, you know.
Yeah.
Peter, my next question. Obviously, these E30s are a little bit more common in Europe. When it comes to spares, are they readily available?
Funnily
or
enough, they are readily available.
There's actually
Oh.
more spares available for the E30 M3
than IS?
Than
Then, then there are. Remember, they made some, I don't know, 17 odd thousand units.
Oh,
So they're not rare like the 333s where they only made 204.
Yeah.
That's it. Or 205 with a mule.
500 ISs, which now they're about 1,500 ISs.
And
I
even-
was going to mention your name, but I'll keep quiet. We mentioned it off air. You know what I'm talking about.
and Evo 2 of the E30 M3, they made about 600, I think.
Sure.
And Johnny Chicotto editions, a handful.
Sure.
Peter, if you're comparing this motor to the 16 valve that came out in the E36 318 IS, how close are they?
Funny you should mention that.
because they kind of look.
That is the closest engine you're going to get to an S14.
Okay.
But the
M44.
sub-assemblies were based very closely
The
to the
M40.
M10s.
Yes.
M10, yeah.
Basically
No,
to the M10.
it is an M10.
With highly specialized racing
Sub-assembly,
parts. Yeah.
bottom end.
There is nothing peculiar other than forged components. It's an M10 sub-assembly with forged components. That's it.
So the M10 was 89 mobile or 92 mobile?
90, no. This one is 92.
This is 92.
Yes. But fundamentally, they took the block. Remember, that block also served in the Brabham Formula One car.
The one that turbocharged technology made 1,500 horsepower or something like that.
In practice
Sure.
trim.
Off a 1,500 cc.
Yes.
Sure.
So the block is the same. It's just that they machined bigger and smaller depending on what they wanted.
So to put into perspective, 92 millimeter bore.
Yeah.
Your E34 535s, your 32 735s,
They run 93.4.
92 point, and some of them also 92 mobiles.
To the best of my recollection, the M88 and S38 ran 93.4.
93.4, that's correct. Yeah. But on the E34s,
Yeah.
I saw 92 millimeter bores on them. And on the triple threes, we ran 89s.
Are you talking about the M30?
M30s, yes.
Oh, I beg your pardon. No, I thought you were talking about the S38 and
Oh,
M88.
no.
Yeah.
So just a size comparison quickly, right? A 4-cylinder with a 92 millimeter bore.
Yeah.
Whereas the E34s came, that's your big 6 motors.
Yeah.
With a 92 millimeter bore. Obviously, your bore stroke is different. Your stroke is different on them, right? So you can't compare. But the size of the piston, it's a chunk.
Massive.
Yeah.
And your bore on the M20s are down all the way down to 84 millimeters.
Yeah.
So it's a much smaller piston to that.
Yeah, but where the interesting thing about it, where the difference was made is in the crankshaft. So regardless of where your bore was, it's the crankshaft that made the power and the real stroke of the motor.
Okay.
If you look at this, I'm talking about a 2-liter, same bore size, but the crankshaft is the difference or the nuance to the
Between this and that one.
That was, if I'm not mistaken, that's a 10 to 20 horsepower difference, am I right? That was the
Yeah,
difference between
roughly.
this here to...
This one does 145 watt kilowatts. Call it. Yeah.
It's about 200.
So same as the Evo 1 IS.
Yeah.
On a 2-liter motor.
In the late 90s, the production cars here in South Africa that Henny and Sean were racing, the E36 Enviro cars, they were 6-valve 2-liter motors, am I correct? What kind of powers were they
But
making?
those were S42s, eh? Not S14s.
Yeah.
No. It was off the
Those things were
E36.
producing well north of 300. Right?
Yeah.
And
Normally aspirated.
Yeah.
And those motors like today.
Yeah.
Those cars were spectacular.
There's actually one now in the BMW car club.
Andre.
No, the German.
The German, yeah.
The German.
Andre.
He's got one. And that's the S42. He's his base of the S42.
He got the shell and was looking for the engine for it. He got one of the Enviro cars.
Yes.
I don't know whether he found the engine.
I think he's gone through 2 different engine setups. I stand to be correct.
But he swears by it.
He loves it.
You'll never go 6-cylinder. He swears by that setup. Okay, so guys, let's move through
Cool.
the car. Okay, so basically, again, coming out to the E30 M3.
Left-hand drive.
This here, seats on them.
So I have to ask this question.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why they didn't bring the M3 was because it was a left-hand drive, right?
Yeah.
Was there never an attempt to make it a right-hand vehicle?
You could.
There's one vehicle that's made right-hand drive. That's sitting in Australia, am I right?
I don't know whether it is in Australia, but you could bring the steering across very much like they did on this one. It's not difficult, to accomplish that.
Yeah,
It's just that they were all left-handers.
Yeah, but that's why I was asking, why didn't BMW just do that and just make a right-hand
I think maybe they didn't think that there was a big enough market. And costs, obviously. And they pandered predominantly to the American market, where the bulk of them went to.
But it's a good thing that it never happened because we wouldn't have had the 333.
No, we wouldn't. Neither would we have had the IX.
Yeah.
You know, in the iterations
That's true.
that we've had.
Does this thing have seat warmers? Is that what the buttons in the middle are?
Sorry?
That looks like a seat warmer.
Yeah, they are.
Seat warmers.
Heated seats.
Wow.
So this was the executive model, I suppose, for us.
Yeah, I call it the executive model for want of a better one. This had single pane glass.
Yeah.
You can see the beading over here.
Yeah.
I don't even know about that.
Can you see
Yes.
the beading?
Oh,
Where's the
okay.
beading?
I heard it when
Yes.
Come over here and just let's show the beading over here.
class is in session.
Yes, true. When we go to
This is very similar to the late model cars that we've got. Then this over here, which is very interesting, this is all plastic. And if you take it from here to here, it's a piece that has been added onto the standard car. And if you come here, you can almost see the fender line here of our normal cars.
Oh, okay.
Can you see how it comes over here?
Yeah.
And again, this is also single glass with those trim pieces glued on to hold it down.
So I got to be the dumb one to ask the dumb questions, but is this still an original E30 body
Yes.
here besides this plastic
Yes.
part? And this actuates the extension?
Well, the extension is added to give to give design fluidity with the boot.
Boot,
And
yeah.
because this is an active aero package, it's not for looks.
Okay.
It actually works, and this is why it's square.
Okay.
You know, they could have molded it into that sort of look there, but they needed that square back for turbulence.
For it to work.
Yeah.
So with the extension here, do they have to extend the partial shaft, or is there metal that's...
No, it's a normal. What you've got is that,
Yeah.
Yeah.
except this goes in at an angle,
Ah, okay.
so you've got the same length inside.
Okay.
Oh, so it's exactly the same at the bottom.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
just the angle
It's
that's
just the
Yeah.
angle that they've done, and they've raised the boot lid over here and they squared it off.
Okay.
Nice car.
Beautiful.
different to drive.
I haven't had the pleasure of driving a
I'd love to.
E30 M3.
I just want to get those
But
throttles.
you see, I want to. Yeah, you see, I don't want to drive it like a Sunday. I want to drive it like a Saturday night. There's a difference.
Fika, I heard you coming in from 3 streets away and you came in on the Golf 5 today.
And I drove slowly.
Okay, guys, our next car.
Where do you want to go to next?
I think.
Well, let's go to we're starting with the red, but yeah, this one.
So the rare ones, yeah.
So you want to do the Alpinas?
This one. Ladies and gentlemen, behind door number 2.
I think this is one of the most authentic cars in the country, in as much as, just as a matter of interest, this was assembled by Sean Singh back when he was at Stuart Bromfield. The seats have got his signature on it.
No
Whoa.
way.
Seriously?
He signed it.
Oh, we want to
Mr.
see.
Sean Singh.
Really?
Lucian,
Yeah.
you gotta get this. Is it still visible?
No, you
Not-
you need to pull the seats out.
Oh, good.
Wow.
We're getting the secrets out here.
Sure.
This is a 2.7 Alpina,
Okay.
which is the forerunner to the IS.
And this was produced in what year? It's a forerunner like
99.
89.
Remember
1990.
something?
This is a
It's
90 model.
390?
Evo 1.
Yeah.
So it would have the OAF in.
Sorry, would that be?
It would have the OAF in.
Not necessarily, because these were 325s.
So this specific has a OAF in.
Yeah.
Remember, what the factory did is they built complete cars.
Yeah.
What Stuart Bromfield did. Stuart Bromfield, JSN Motors, and Club Motors. They went out and assigned agencies with Alpina, Hartke, and Snitcher. So what they would do is bring in the motor complete. And Stuart Bromfield brought the 2.7 from Alpina and re-engined a South African car. So here you are likely to find a 325 number on it.
Yeah.
You're not going to find anything strange.
So H81 crank, Alpina 276-degree camshaft on this.
I'll take your word for it.
Okay.
That was a question, not a statement. No,
Yeah.
just letting you know. We're asking.
So power output on these guys, Peter?
Same as 145 kilowatts. Remember, about 145, 150 kilowatts.
So I think this was this not the same as the HP2, the Evo 2 HP2
No.
output?
No, this is the first iteration. This is what our Evo ones were built from.
Okay.
Yeah.
This was the first 2.7
Correct.
Yeah.
They're Alpina.
in South Africa.
Yeah, that's why I said it would have the H81 stroke crankshaft
Yeah.
and the 276 Alpina engraved camshaft in the head.
And remember, the motors came complete to Stuart Bromfield
Yeah.
from Alpina.
So they're not.
They'd done their magic already
So
and
they
just
had done the
just put it
magic
in.
on the
Yes.
ECU, the throttle body,
Cam,
which is basically, sorry?
Cam as well.
Yeah, because they did the motors themselves. They took raw parts from BMW and converted them.
would you arguably say that this was the precursor to the Evo 1? So BMW was testing whether the setup could work in an
I
E30.
don't know that they were testing. I think our dealers found a nice
Interesting.
way to differentiate
Okay.
the run of them. And remember
Just a mic
something,
closer to Peter.
at the time that this car was built, you were adding an extra 50, 60,000 rands onto the price of the 325.
Back then.
Back
That was a
then.
lot of
I
money.
was told it was 115,000 rand brand new.
Yeah.
In pre-90s, that's
That was
Yeah.
a lot of money. But well worth the money
Yeah.
if you compared it to a standard car.
And then the spoilers were optional, am I right?
How do you mean, Sanjay?
So I've been told by the owner that the Alpina spoiler, it's got an extended spoiler which is quite low.
Yes.
That they were optional. It was an optional extra to
Yes,
purchase.
because you just bought the car.
Yeah.
With a motor, and
Right.
everything else was added onto it.
And I'm looking at the rear spoiler now as to the C1 over here.
You know, Sanjay, that C1, I don't think he's wearing an Alpina spoiler.
Don't you love when Peter just tell you straight?
Is it because of the fitment on the boot that you...
Yeah, the way that it is.
The telltale
could
signs.
It could be something else over
Because
there.
or could, not the age of this. Maybe it's an age.
So
Yeah,
is this
it's the design of that.
Okay.
If you compare it, Alpina were very, very particular with their finishing. It's not an unattractive spoiler. It's just
I
different.
I like them. Right? I've
Yeah.
actually had one like that before. But I always thought that was the Alpina spoiler.
Just look at just come here and have a look at the difference.
Get the...
Here's an M Technique 1 kit. Can you see that? That's
Yeah.
a 333 front.
Yeah.
And look at that one.
So on the C1s,
So you could mix and match whatever it is that you wanted to do. This is an English car, I presume.
yeah. So this
So
is
I don't know what Sightners did at the time or whoever did this conversion.
so. What was the difference between Sytner and Alpina at that time? Because we know it as an Alpina C1, right?
Yeah, but
Sytner put it together.
was a dealership,
Ah, okay,
very much like a Club Motors
okay.
or
And
a
both
JSN.
guys. So this is Stuart Bromfield.
Yeah, this is Stuart Bromfield.
So this is Sytner, and that's also Sytner, the 320 IS.
Yes, but that was merely serviced
they
at
were
Sytner.
selling like
That-
performance packages
Yes.
within branch
Yes.
level. Am I right? They buy BMW from BMW head office or HQ, and then they'd have these kits signed up with various tuning companies, and they would build it at branch level and sell it to clients. Am I correct?
Yes, but this particular car is a question mark, given its interior.
Is it an authentic interior?
Yes, it is, because at the time that is the correct interior for it, for an Alpina interior. But other than the badging on it, which it has,
So we've
this
got full
this could possibly be a camshaft and headers. as the only conversion on it, and the head has been worked. But so it could be a level 1 type of thing.
So on this car's paperwork, right? We know it as a C1 2.3.
Yes.
But on the paperwork itself, it states as C1 2.5.
I've got a good question for you, and this goes back to me for a long time.
Okay.
What was the differences, engine-wise, specs-wise, between a 323 and a 325? Because that might answer your question.
That's roughly 15 kilowatts.
Yeah, but on a technical point, the crankshaft was a 77 stroke on the 323, and on the 325 it was a 75 stroke on the crankshaft.
And that's all. The rest was identical.
The pistons were still 83.9.
But remember, electronics were totally different.
Yes. Okay. Yes.
And the 325 was allowed to breathe better, stroke-wise and electronics-wise.
And more importantly, in respect of drivetrain, the 323s came out with a limited slip diff, whereas the 325i did not come with a limited slip diff.
So the same thing on this guy here. On this guy's paperwork, I just want to touch base on that. I don't know if it's a misprint or if it's a deliberate change. This guy here says 325IS Alpina on its original receipt.
IS Alpina.
This one.
Yeah. And the VIN number on this guy is, I'll give the first out, which is OAF 441. So our understanding on the 441 fell into the shadow line.
Yes.
So Evo 1 started off by from 443, if I'm not mistaken, upwards.
Yes.
So was it just a general misprint? Was it a mistake back then? Or
no, I think Stuart Bromfield picked up a shadow line and they just converted it.
No, but the misprint on the paperwork.
Why is there a misprint?
It says 325IS. Alpina 325IS.
But
on this one?
Yes.
Okay, it won't say 327 because your normal 325 is a 325IS as well, although it's a 2.7.
No, but it's not supposed to say IS.
Where is it written on the?
Oh, I see on the suffix.
On the original receipt,
yes.
The purchase receipt for the car.
Well, it's not an IS.
Yeah.
Could have been for a fact.
So it's the same thing like this here. This here was printed. It's a C1 2.3, but on paperwork shows C1 2.5.
Actually, let's.
But the important aspects are on the tag, I think.
No, but there's a few misprints. You know that.
Okay.
From factory. And just try to distinguish, was it an error or is there reasoning behind it? So the tag is over there on that paper.
Look at that, the airflow meter is stamped Alpina over here. So it's definitely airflow meter. Some electronics, the EEPROM has been changed. This is a 2.3, it's not a 2.5, I don't think.
Yeah, and the head is not a 2.7 as well.
Yeah.
So still 2.3.
Yeah.
Look, it's still a nice car. It's a nice looking car. Any Alpina car.
Any rare. If you got a rare car, it's something to keep and.
Look, the nice thing about this car is for sale as well, and it's converted to ride and drive already by birds in the UK as well.
Are you going to reveal the price, or are you just for sale?
The pricing will be up soon. No, but it's actually, I would say it's affordable. It's actually quite affordable. It's not ridiculously priced. So
for the rarity that it is.
Yes, yes, and it's South African rich.
Okay.
So there's no stories of paperwork and.
It's got wipers for the lights.
Oh yes.
Which for me personally made absolutely no sense ever. Yeah. I'm just putting it up.
That was for snow.
No, but it made no sense to me.
It wasn't for the water.
It was a thing. I remember a good few years ago, especially in other communities, Oaks were putting wipers on lights, and I'm like,
because they made the difference. That's all.
Yeah, I hear you.
So one of the things I spotted and maybe you can tell me if I'm right or wrong on that. This is a WPA car. So what happened with BMW is all their M cars had a WPS VIN that starts, and this is a WPA. So it looks to me like it's a normal standard chassis E30 vehicle.
Yes, like all of them were.
Let's go
until they got pulled off the production line.
So Vic, you and I had I think it was years ago, right?
Yeah.
This is years ago. Where you still told me Sanj, I'm looking for a 318 chassis, 318 shell
Yeah.
because they're lighter.
Yes.
And back then I knew must have very wet here. I wiped all of that up now.
Yeah.
And I actually can answer you now that the only difference in weight on the E30s, sunroof and non-sunroof.
Ah, okay.
318, 325, besides the lightweight car,
Yeah.
the full aluminum Evo 1,
Yeah.
there is no weight difference in them. Obviously, once engine is in and engine out. So 4-cylinder at different
So
weights.
body for body, just body for
But
body.
body
Because
for
it had
body.
a thick stabilizer bar that ran across on the roof.
Same as the cabriolet.
So
You're
I'm
talking about the normal production E30s.
yes.
Correct.
So a bare shell.
Yes.
So the stabilizer bar that you're talking about is a non-sunroof car will have that. That's just basic reinforcement onto the roof, so to avoid warping on the panel itself. Whereas your sunroof has got a cassette, that's your reinforcement there, right? But besides for those two items,
Nothing.
all E30s, 316 all the way up. I'm not too sure about the M3.
The M3 is lighter.
It's like this. So besides the M3 and obviously the Evo 1 aluminum
And the
panel,
convertibles are heavier.
yeah, that's
Okay.
That's the only difference, really.
Okay.
Let's go and dwell into the 3 to 5IS section of this video because I want to have a conversation with the experts about shadow line 3 to 5IS. Shadow line
This is going to be
3
interesting.
to 5IS.
Jermaine,
Expert
I saw you running with a mic to Vic, right?
IS.
Vic doesn't need a mic.
No, I'm just saying. I want to have this discussion because it's a conversation that comes up continuously, and there's a lot of BMW enthusiasts with a lot of passion, like my man right here, and then there's experts that have been working for many years. So I would like to find the truest of the differences between a 3 to 5 IS, whether it be Evo 1 or Evo 2, or a 3 to 5 shadow line.
But as a point of departure, this is not an IS, nor is it a shadow line. This is a UK import 325i coupe with an MTEC 2 kit. So this is specifically to the UK market and not South African
Yeah,
market.
this is not fair. You're smoking in here. I'm dying to have a cigarette outside.
I'm vaping.
You must just
in here.
edit that part out.
I'm vaping in here, and you are dying to have a cigarette.
And I'm moving closer
Tell
to
us
you.
the differences.
Well, this,
Sir.
Okay, wait. Let's get from the expert.
I just wanted to say that this pretty much is the standard 325, other than the body kit that it has on it.
Pause. Standard 325 coupe, right?
Yeah.
So what made the shadow line different in the South African market to the car that we're seeing here from the UK?
Trim.
Which was?
No kit.
So
There was the matte silver that you see behind you. Sorry, the matte black that you see, or the satin black that you see behind you.
Yeah.
The interiors were typically uber camouflage, although you could order them in leather. And basically the wheels, and they were 4-bolt wheels.
For one.
So normal full suspension.
However, guys like JSN took shadow lines and put the IS kits on them
As an offering to their clients.
as an offering to the client, and it was a ready kit.
So that answers a couple of questions.
See, but that's exactly what I'm getting to.
And they had 4-bolt wheels on them.
So it looked like an IS, and if you didn't take the
Like
cap
this
off the wheel, you
like
wouldn't
this
have
one
known.
would look like an IS,
Mm-hmm.
exactly the same.
But it was a shadow line
A shadow line.
with a 3 to 5 motor.
Remember, the trim on these cars was originally silver.
Yeah.
Or chrome.
Mm-hmm.
The shadow line was the blacking out, which was a marketing exercise, because guess what? Spraying black paint is a lot cheaper than chroming.
Hence the term shadow line.
For me,
Okay.
I prefer that look.
Yeah, but it's a matter of individual.
So it's the same thing
preference.
on the E28 as well.
Yeah.
They done the same thing on the E28 and made a world of a difference.
So
There's always that big discussion, because now, like you've just said, dealers were putting
Kits on it.
kits on them and selling them as shadow lines, and everybody else interpreted it as a 3 to 5 IS.
So I've actually got one, and the reason there's a customer over there that just purchased one, and we're busy with these guys now, and these guys are shadow line with an original kit on it, but with a 2.5 motor, 4-lug suspension on it. So that answers that question because we couldn't
So
pause.
doesn't matter. So legitly, you could own a 325 Shadowline that has an IS kit or an MTX kit, and it's still a
And
Shadowline.
it's a pedigree.
But I'm gonna give the signs away that you can't even a dealership couldn't hide it. So there's two particular things that made a normal E30, even if you put the kit on it, they couldn't change it because it came from Germany. Is the roof lining was grey regardless. So a shadow line came from the factory with black roof lining, black soles, but when they put the kits on the normal ones,
Yes.
the normal Vins, so the Vins OAG, all of those, they had a grey roof lining. And another thing is, on the IS specifically, on the base of the electric antenna,
Yeah.
it was black.
Okay.
If you look at the normal others, the base is silver. Only on Evo 1 and Evo 2 was the base black.
Okay. Yeah, I learned something today.
So I'm not going to put that on camera, but
No,
if you look
no,
at a genuine
You
IS,
put it on camera.
so what I was explaining to them was, on the normal 3 to 5 vehicles, the E30s, back in the day, regardless of whether you put a kit on it or whatever, the telltale sign on the E30s was that the non-Shadowline vehicles had a grey roof. The Shadowline vehicles were greyed out trim, black roof lining,
Yeah.
and the way you could tell it was the dealers never changed the roof lining,
Yes.
so they remained grey on them. That was the first. Then on the second aspect is the base of the antenna on the Evo 1s and Evo 2s were non-chrome, they were black as well,
Yes.
with the shadow lines. So I was making a comparison. If you look at the other E30s, the base is chromed.
Yes.
Whereas with the
Shadowlines only, not the IS.
yeah, on the ISs, they came out black at the base to give that full shadow line black trim effect.
Yes.
So everything was blacked out. The only thing that remained chrome on the shadow line in Evo 1 and Evo 2 vehicles was the grille.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Absolutely. And Sanjay has decided to go for a smoke.
Yeah, let's pause it there.